I mean, obviously you hope they're disappointed. Coaches, fans, I always said this to you in the past, coaches, fans, they get a lot harder than the players. They seem to respond better, but we have to have a little more sense of urgency, and that's been our emphasis, especially in gut check parts of games and, making the little plays, whether it's, securing the ball, boxing out, defending, whatever it might be, executing. Those are the things that have to improve. And, we're close. We're close on a lot of games. We knew we had a new team. We have a mixture, new, young team, different roles, and probably it's been a little harder for some of them than they ever anticipated. And, now we got to see if we can take a step forward. A lot of things can happen. I've talked about the Washington Nationals to them. I've talked about the St. Louis Blues to them. I mean, Nationals, it was the worst record, right? Blues were in last place, and they won the World Series and won the Stanley Cup. So a lot of things can happen, but it's got, little things got to change. And I think we've made some progress over the last few weeks, but it hasn't been enough to get over the hump to win the games that, we want to win. Mississippi State was a really talented team. Very gifted, if you really studied, we do the 4-minute wars. We won 6 out of the 8 or whatever it was wars, but the other 2, the end of the half and the end of the game, we did not. They dominated those stretches, and that's probably when you look at it, it's a difference in the game. Now you got a different animal in St. Louis, very, very physical, good, really good offensive rebounding team, and that's something we're going to have to, it's something we haven't been great at, that securing the ball, boxing out, being physical, we got to have some guys step up and if we're going to make progress and get a win on Saturday, it will not be an easy game.
Is Montavious in the picture this week?
He's practicing, and I told you guys before, we just couldn't push it. He's a freshman. Luke was just so afraid. We brought those other 2 guys back, and they got hurt within days, and we tried to be patient with Montavious, and he's a little cautious. You could see that first day just running up and down. He was going in for a layup. He lands. He's worried about it. So I think slowly but surely, today he was in most of the time. We're trying not to do a lot of reps like the workout stuff where he gets that constant pounding, and you hope to build to that. But I would anticipate he would be part of it on Saturday. I don't know how long, that, we'll just have to see.
How has that limited you, not only not having him, but just having 3 or 4 roster spots that can't?
Well, it's hard. It's hard in practice. It's hard in, thank goodness I've said, the Coach Korn, he loves to play and he stayed in shape. He gets to play a lot. It's just, guys like that have been able to help us. Pearson is I don't think people appreciate Pearson. One week he's a forward, the next week he's a guard, depending who's here, who's not. That makes it difficult. But for the game, Monte was one of our more consistent guys. And then you look at plus minus, he was pretty good as far as he knew what was going on. It's you hope in the long run it's going to help Antonio because he's been forced to do some things. He gets 9 rebounds the other night against a high-level team. He's guarding Reggie Perry, one of the best players in the country. Does a pretty good job, but should he be in there 30 minutes? That's the question, or 27, 28, whatever it is. And that's where Montavious could have probably helped us a little bit, and maybe that could make a difference. We'll see. But we had to live with it. Injuries are part of it. We're not the only team in the country. You see it on the ticker almost every day. Somebody goes down.
I think I had read that you kind of would have liked to play maybe David Sloan more in that past game.
I think so.
What did he do well in that game, you thought?
Well, I think one, he distributes, so that helps us. The thing he doesn't do, and I've said since he got here, he's got to guard. And he's got to make a commitment to defending. And maybe, but at the same time, as a staff, we got to make a decision. We got to give him a little leeway. But you get to the end of the game, and it's gut check, and he's not defending at a high level. You're not going to win those games. So and some of that's luck with the plus minus. Kellis was the one who asked it. He said, "Look at the plus minus." Well, it's pretty obvious he's plus 11. doesn't take a brain surgeon, but is he in there in the first half when we make the run? You know, he gets in the second half and he struggles and they're making a run. So, you know, it's always hindsight. You're always looking for stuff. Do you stick Dejuan? He struggled in the first half. Do you stick him in second half? Maybe it helps Xavier. Maybe he doesn't play as many minutes, you know, all that stuff. And that's something we're trying to figure out and learn. We need, and I've said it since the beginning, consistency, efficiency, and dependability. If we get that from some guys, it's going to help everyone. It's really going to help our coaches because then we'll know what to do. And we know what we get every day. And if you don't know what you're getting every day, it's now you got to coach your butt off and hope every move you make. You know, if you got to coach every possession, it's hard. And right now, a lot of that, especially in these tight games, we are doing it. Sometimes, you know, players make plays, and that makes it a lot easier on coaches.
Could you foresee a scenario where David maybe started, slide Carter to two?
Yeah, I don't, you know, if things don't progress, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. But who's our most consistent player right now? Mike McGurl. Look at his stats, 46 from the field, 40-something. You know, assist turnover positive. You know, he's our best defender, maybe right now. So, you know, who do you move out? You know, but and I, you know, Mike does. I think Mike has done what Monte did. Less is more. You know, he just does what he can do, and he's really solid at it. And that, but you know, in the game, I even called a couple sets. We got to get it to Mike. You know, cause he's the only one making shots. So, you know, we got to think about how we can get him some open looks too. But I'm happy for him because he started really dismal, and you know, he's gotten in the gym, he's worked at it, he's figured out what his niche is, and he's doing a good job. So again, can we get some other guys consistent and efficient like that? Might help.
What do you really feel like jump-started Mike? Was it just the gym, or?
I think the gym. I don't think he wants it. You know, it really bothered him. You know, again, figuring out what you are, figuring out a role. One of the, you know, I talked about those words: consistency, efficiency, dependability. But one of the things was figuring out roles, and he's figured out his role pretty quick. And we, you know, and obviously we haven't even mentioned the big guys. You know, they got to finish. You know, just can't. You look at Marquette, 2 for 14 in the lane. We're, you know, last game those guys are 1 for whatever, 12, whatever. You know, they got to finish. They got to make some baskets, and you know, hope that happens on Saturday. We'll deal with a very, very physical team. Gooden was a high-level football guy, very physical, kind of plays old school, kind of an old school. I don't even know what you call him. Old school 3-1-3. Plays points at time, and he's a power forward at times. So, you know, we're going to have to deal with his physicality. French has had 24 rebounds, I believe, in one of the games. You know, you got 2 guys, I think, that have had 20 rebounds in a game. And, you know, as a team, we only get 30, 32, so that's pretty impressive. They don't, you know, so we're going to have to really, you know, be ready for that physicality. And they got some size. I mean, they played. If you watch their Auburn game, that's as physical a game as I've maybe ever seen. That thing was just a war, and they did not back down. And so you got to anticipate. They made some strides. They're a new team too, NCAA team. They were in our same location last year. You know, Travis has done a nice job and kind of piecing some things together. Got a couple vets back, but they kind of figuring out some of the other guys.
With David defensively right now, how much of it is just him not knowing?
It's a little bit of combo and taking pride in it. Not, you know, it's your habits, especially, you know, if you've done something your whole life, now it's hard to change. And, you know, it just could be a simple thing like, you know, changing your eating habits. It's hard. Drinking a Coke, whatever, smoking, whatever. Those are hard habits to change. And it just doesn't happen overnight. And, you know, every day we're on them, compete. David, we need you. I told him first week of practice, I want to play you. We need to play you, but you got to guard. And it's not like this is like a revelation that I just came up with. I mean, this is something now again, he didn't practice all summer because of his injury. So that, you know, it sets you back a little bit. So, you know, you hope one day the light will come on.
With Carter, you had he had a big scoring game. But
Yes,
no
and then 0
assists.
assists. Yeah, but he delivered some things to the big guys and they didn't finish. So some of that's, he probably would have had 3 or 4. Obviously, I'd like a good mixture, and yeah, every team guards differently. And I mentioned to you before, he came to me after Florida. He goes, Coach, every time I drive, they all come. Well, yeah, you're the number 1 guy in the scouting report. Before you were number 6 or 7. So now they're coming to you. Now make the right pass. That's why he's getting assists. Now Mississippi State, they're big and they're going to go block shots, so they didn't help in as much. They just kind of went and contested him, and he made a couple threes. Finally made some free throws. Got to the line. Obviously we free throws probably could have. And it was 75 last time, and we got to the line 30 some. But if you hit 80, you win the game. So it's just, hopefully continue to make progress with that.
But I guess I'm asking, is there a balance, or as long as he produces the points?
Oh, I mean, yeah, efficient. I want efficiency. We got to have efficiency, whether, if you're shooting 50% and 40 from 3 and, 75 or higher from the line, you're efficient. And then a positive assist turnover. Obviously, I'm asking for a really, really good player, but that's what we believe he can be, and he's got to But I think it's just, like I said before, I think it's been a little harder than they all anticipated to step into the spotlight, and so the crazy thing, Cardi has made big plays. Freshman year, Kansas starting. He made a whole lot of big baskets down the stretch at Allen Field. That's one of the toughest places to play. But I think there was no pressure because he was just, no one expected it. But now people expect it, so dealing with expectations is not easy.
You mentioned the big guys. What do you feel like holding them back right now?
Mac?
Well, just the big guys in general.
Yeah, I mean, it just, they gotta play stronger. They gotta finish. I don't. I wish I had some answers. I think they got to work to get angles earlier. But there were some. I mean, at the end of the game, Cardi drove, threw it to him. Make the shot. Reggie Perry's got 4 fouls. He's not going to foul the dude. And we go up, soft. And so, I hope the light switch is on. I know that it would be nice.
Is this your favorite time of the non-conference season, when after finals get over?
Yeah, I mean, like today we went at 7:15 on Monday. We went yesterday. We went at, I think it was at 10. This morning we went at 9. You got guys are running out. They got finals at noon. So you're trying to get as much as you can out of them. But we get through this, then they come back, and we have a good 3 weeks where we can. We've made strides in the past because they've made a commitment to it. They've come in the gym. We've a lot of film work, a lot of shooting work, and you hope you can make some of those strides. But we'll have to wait and see. But and they love it because they don't have class. We always say this is their time to be an NBA player. But then it's maturity not to stay up late, play video games till 2, 3 in the morning, and all that stuff. Staying, time management, discipline, all that to make sure you're focused on the right things.
The freshmen are a big part of this team.
Yes.
Do you believe in the freshman wall type of thing, or do you think it's just?
I don't know if Dejuan, he had a horrible practice in New York last week. Sometimes they all are horrible when you travel like we did and got in late, and you've got finals coming up. Maybe, and he actually texted us all last night, said, I apologize, I haven't been played well the last 4 or 5 days, and I need to step it up. So he cares. He sat with Coach Gorn yesterday for, I bet, an hour at the end of the day. Just, he wants to do well. He cares. Antonio plays his butt off. The more minutes you play, the more your weaknesses show up too. So and that's what I'm trying to get to him. Make a commitment. To get 9 rebounds in a high-level game like that. Now grab the ball, secure it, don't travel, don't dribble. And that's he had to learn from that. Hopefully next time he won't. He'll make the right play. And he got pushed on the one. travel, rebound, but this is big boy basketball, guys. You got to be strong.
I know we're kind of harping on this David Sloan defense thing, but is it more on ball or help, or is it just kind of across the board?
I think across the board. He's just got to take a little pride in it. And there's guys that have never been great, but they take pride and they have good habits. And he missed a whole summer of habits, which we're trying to do now. And then now you get into games, and now you're getting schemes, and how you're going to guard things, so you don't get as much time to work on habits. So it's kind of a combination of everything. But we got to. You got to see where we can go with him, and see if he can make some progress. But we need his play. We need somebody else playmaking beside Cardi, and that's whether you're creating for others or you're creating for yourself. It would help us as coaches. It would help our team.